Hey guys, it's me again, Oryx What Ifs. Where we last left off, let's see, checking. Huh. They made their way to, you know, I believe they took care of the Bronze Eagles. Well, Bronze Eagles. They took care of one of their, their main base, by their standards. They also got a few more people to join. They helped defend Elysium from entire slaver armada, essentially. And then they met Shepard, eventually saving him somewhat from the the slaver onslaught. Just arriving in time with Deku, Bell, Uraka, and Kaminari to assist. Bago was held back for reasons. And anything else? No, I do not think so. Anyways, they went on to, help him. So, as I continue forward with this story, they also met like a captain or somewhat after saving Shepard. And now they wait. It's been a week or so since they've gone, and the counterattack that took place in the game has already taken place. So they've already wiped out the slavers and such. Commander Shepard, after spending a little bit of time with Bell and his group, has come to like them to a certain degree. Seeing as Deku and Bell told him their story, we grew up on a planet with a lot of gangs. We never joined one, but you know how things go. So I just got mixed up in that lifestyle. As the Shepherd, I'm using the Shepherd in my playthrough, just letting you guys know that. He was Earthborn, which means he ran with a few gangs. And eventually, like I said, he pretty much soloed or defended a position entirely by himself. But I'm tweaking that part for Deku and them, as to continue on with this story. Eventually, he has to leave after shore leave is over. Afterwards, there is quite a lot of business opening up. You see, other tech companies and such who had their cargo pretty much taken in droves. A lot of profit was lost on their part. Hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of credits have been lost, or stuff worth that much have been lost due to how much stuff was stolen. The only company that remains intact with their entire stock is what I'll be calling now, it used to be not Melissa and Sons, but David and Daughter, the Shield Tech Company. But now to sort of authorize, show their new partnership, they sort of talked with Deku and them, and they sort of just went for Onyx Industries. Yeah. As their gear and such, they have tried to model it after Deku, after the Onyx Sentinels gear and such, being primarily pitch black, and they do weaponry and such as one of their, and other things, but when it comes to weaponry and such, they primarily make it jet black with markings, and so to make it known that Onyx Industries logo is pretty much put onto the side. As then a few other smaller tech companies have heard that somehow Onyx Industries somehow kept all their stocks, and since in all their stuff in the warehouses, and since that, other people are looking, since other people can't meet their quotas, not quotas, but their what the buyers were wanting. Several of them have come looking for protection, you could say, that they need help, and so they're willing to save themselves. They're becoming underlings to Onyx Industries. Melissa and her dad are making a lot of money. And after several months of like them just acquiring more things, they eventually come to understand that thanks to Bellin, the Onyx Sentinels showing up, they have like tripled how much stuff they've been able to buy, sell, and maintain. Thanks to them for just protecting their stuff so so ferociously. And now that they don't have to work, they aren't pulling their hairs and trying to calculate how much time they would like have to quickly. They're taking their times to find deals that will help them to the best of their ability instead of trying to be rushed and getting stuff out of there before it's taken. Now, other tech companies, as a result of hearing how good the Onyx Sentinels are, want some of them to guard their stuff, to guard their warehouses. Melissa and her father talk with Deku and such, and like, we don't have the people to guard how many? It's like 4 or 5 other like different warehouses for multiple. Like, it's gonna be a lot of stuff you're gonna have to guard. They're like, listen, we probably can't guard all of it out like all together. Like, we don't have the numbers. And it's like, why don't you start recruiting then? It's like, there's no way. As they're like, hey, boss, we got a bunch of people outside. They look pretty young. Like, it looks like young Turians and humans. As it's like, several of them are saying they want to join this Onyx Sentinels, as they too, as their families and such, were given better protection than even some of the Alliance soldiers were offering. They wanted to sign right up to get some of that nice training as well as that good armor that they heard. And how they even took out the Bronze Eagles over the period of a few months. And they know, since they've been here longer, that the Bronze Eagles were a pain in the ass for a lot of people. And now that they're gone, well, it's a lot easier. So with that being said, all these people, Turians, humans, even like a few Solarians, or maybe even a few Asari, are like flocking, you could say. Like in the beginning, there's like just like 7 people, and so they start getting trained up, along with the other 3 that originally joined, so it's 10. Then it just keeps on adding on, week by week, month by month, to the point that it's 4 months have passed, and they have had over 100 people come to join. They have a lot of people now. And during that time as well, Mei Hatsume, the Quarian, had pretty much sent out like several dozen like a few dozen several dozen mechs and such to go out and scavenge supplies from those wreckages from ships, other like heavy arsenal, other mechs and such that were deployed to either for the pirates or against the pirates. She was pretty much cleaning up all that scrap. Like, as soon as the battle was over, they just started clearing all that up, and she's been using it to modify gear and such, to a point that she's actually becoming more than proficient. She's an expert, as through this like help of like gathering more supplies and such, she's somewhat been able to upgrade stuff. She's been able to upgrade the turrets and such, as well as the fact that the robots, their numbers are getting expanded upon greatly. Deku and them still have plenty of supplies to give to these new recruits. Ida has been putting them through the works, as well as like Kirishima. Like, the 3 ex-policemen pretty much have been putting them through the ringer. Kaminari's on marksmanship, Kirishima's pretty much on close range, and Ida's for discipline and such, and formation and such, keeping them all sort of coherent with their training. And he's pushing them hard, to the point of some of them collapsing. It may not be healthy, but, you know, they either bend or break. So, And the robots, thanks to these onslaughts they've had to fight off a few times, they become quite proficient because, as May would state it, she thought that a normal art VI for combat would be boring. So she upgraded them to be more adaptive. They look at strategies, employ them, and then they adapt them to be better suited for them. Like, first thing, they may have just been standing there out in the open, but then once they saw Deku and them take cover, they started to copy them. They copy tactics and figure out how good they are, and they play them out, and they've been learning for each situation. Some tactics are better than others. Yeah. As then, when everyone's like trained up after a few months, they pretty much are shipped off to like protect other places, with everyone being separated. Like, mechs and such are separated. Well, actually, they just buy more mechs because they're getting paid a lot. They upgrade and they buy their own mechs, assemble them themselves, and then they upgrade them, spray painting them black, and then equipping them with the best weapons and such. Every facility that they're sent to protect, secure, and protect, they're able to secure, yeah, they're essentially able to, they're essentially turn every single place they're sent to into like a fortress. They get very strict guard details and everything. Now, a few of them are, Deku, Bell, and them are living life. Bison, Weasel's brothers, has been pretty much looking for, like, has been doing other, like, part-time jobs and such, like working at other places, because he wants no parts in fighting. Weasel, on the other hand, is trying to sell more weapons and gain more weapons. They're making bank. Seriously. Like, they're probably in the millions by now. As they even have set up in this time, they've essentially built their own bank. Essentially. It's called the Onyx Vault. It's secured and protected by, guess who? Bell and the Onyx Sentinels. They keep that place locked down. Very few, like, essentially, like, that's where the Onyx Sentinels' monies primarily lies. Sure, they'll take investors from outside or other wealthy personnel bringing in money to hide there, because they know about the security that Deku and his people offer. So, they're making a lot, like I said. And it's incredible how much they can make. May starts experimenting with other protocols. Healing protocols. She tries to create a healing robot, essentially. She understands that robots can get damaged and injured, that they can essentially, like, if they have to, like, they'll just recover the pieces. But for other reasons, she decides that, well, it may be good. So as she starts installing a simple AI that can identify wounds and such, and starts helping them, and tries to, like, working on one. As another drone comes walking in and just starts staring at her. As the robot's like on, similar to an operating table. As it's like, what are you doing, model 69-B? It's like looking over the body. As it walks over to a container and hands over some Medigel, which is pretty much what they put on for wounds. As she's like, wait up. Oh, no. Maybe you won't understand this. Essentially, I'm trying to add medical protocols to this. So that way, if someone gets hurt, it can help them. As the robot just goes, like, starts giving a nod, like a sort of like nodding its head up and down. It's like, oh, you understood that. Well, thank you. Uh, she's like, hang on a minute. Adaptive protocol. She's like, sit down. As the robot, like, goes over and sits, sort of following a simple command. As she goes over, like, hooks something up to the robot and starts installing data on medical procedures. Like basic combat medic stuff, you know, keeping wounds cleaned, making sure they don't die from shock, bleeding out, how to deal with shrapnel to the face, that sort of stuff. As Deku and them are talking about sort of expanding their operations to an even larger degree, that they're protecting several small companies, but, you know, there could always be, you know, other things sorry about that. As then May asks them to get in here. As then, like, the leading members come over and listen. As she's like, so, I need one of you to volunteer. As it's like, I'll do it, is what Deku says. She's like, alright, come over here. As he's like, alright, take off your armor. Why? May quickly grabs a knife and then slices it down Deku's arm. He's like, what was that for? As he's like grabbing his arm. Like, May, what the hell are you doing? And she's like, wait, no. Recovery girl, or recovery bot. As then it's just like, a robot comes walking in with medical and looks like surgical supplies. As it looks at Deku's arm, it's like, as it starts walking over, as it's like, May, what's happening? She's like, wait, watch. As the robot takes a look over his arm, studies it, and then starts applying first aid. Cleans up the wound, uses disinfectant, uses stitching even. It's like, May, what did you do? As in, when it finishes, it says, do not open your stitches again. It may cause severe bleeding. In return, here, take some of this. It may help with the pain. It's like, thank you. It's no problem. As the robot's like, it is no problem, patient. As it starts walking away, as they're like, May, what the hell did you just do? As she's like, I gave the robots adaptive AI. You know what I mean? No, it's not real AI. It's sort of, what it does, it takes things that happen to it. Say, when you're fighting, and it, at first, didn't you know how they were kind of dumb? As it's like, yeah, they were kind of dumb just standing there without cover. But then after you took cover, they started taking cover. It seems that one had seen someone apply some first aid and attempted to help me do it. Helped me when it saw me operating on one of the robots. Or one of the mechs. I think we could teach him a lot more than just fighting. I think we could teach him other things like engineering, healing, shit like... Whoa. You're getting into the territory of full-blown artificial intelligence. And that's illegal. We could be put in prison. You could be put in prison for this. She's like, yeah, but think about it. It makes sense. Like, for instance, your robots right now are like efficient killers. But what if they could be more than just efficient killers? What about great builders? Good medical personnel? There's so much we could do with this. As in, Belle's like, listen, it's alright to like do this, but don't try to do it to more than one at a time. I understand what happened with the Geth, but she's like, the Geth were our fault. We tried to kill them. We were their creators and we tried to destroy them. It's like a mother trying to kill her kid. It's like, oh, I thought all Quarians really hated them. That's like saying all Krogan hate Turians, Bakugo. As he then explains, well, yeah, that's typically how it is. As then they go on to explain that the benefits, and they all sort of get into debate. Ida's pressing for the whole, don't push this any further, this may cause us to have trouble. And then others start saying, well, as long as they don't try to kill us, I think that's fine, isn't it? Like artificial intelligence itself doesn't attempt to kill people. We pose a threat to it, they may try to kill us. Like, yes, but what's to stop it from just doing it when we even haven't? Robots operate on logic, not emotion. It's like, I guess that's true, but still, as it's like, alright, listen. As Deku says this, May, I love you. You're fun to be around, and you keep our stuff running, okay? What are the chances of these things on the artificial intelligence turning on us? It's like, it's practically non-existent. They know their purpose was meant to fight. My guess is that they've accepted that, otherwise they wouldn't keep fighting. Yes, she. I'm using a terminology. I call it recovery girl, for Christ's sakes. She chose to willingly take up the profession of trying to heal instead of killing. Does that speak malevolence to you? As it's like, she's got a point. As Deku's like, did you really have to cut me for that? She's like, yes. It's sort of how I learned to operate. I started uploading medical protocols to it. It's cool. And they have a lot of storage for that sort of stuff. So, it shouldn't be that big of a trouble. It's easy and safe, I promise. As it's like, listen, May, this better not bite us in the ass, alright? And she's like, and I was thinking about evolving one to true. It's like, you can't evolve one to true intelligence or true sentience. You kind of pushed the boundaries at the moment to like, that thing's, I'm pretty sure, close to being sentient. She's like, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe? Like, for Christ's sake. As they're rubbing their head, listen, try to keep it on the down low. We will try and attempt not... sorry. The bots are ready and such. Anyways, as we skip to a few more months. At this point, Bison has been working at several jobs and has actually earned enough money to open a nice little corner thing. As then he starts speaking to Weasel. Weasel's like, you know, we could give you more to like buy a bigger place, because as Weasel's like, listen, some of the guys around are, you know, that work for Bell and his group. It's like, oh, don't tell me. I'm not getting, don't worry, it's perfectly safe. Bell and them were thinking about offering you a deal. As he's like, explain. As then Weasel explains the deal to him, that the deal is that he will open a bar called Neutral Ground, where anyone's welcome, but it'll most likely be advertised as adjoining like a place where the Onyx Sentinels will all come together. It'll have to be a very large place. Trust me. He's like, alright. As well as this, we will have a recruiter, so there. See, what we need, as he's like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Wait, really? Yeah. You guys want a place for where all you guys can, like, just, like, unwind and such, right? Like, yeah. Essentially, that's pretty much it. Like, alright then. That's all you had to say. They saved my ass before, so I guess we owed them that. As he's like, thanks, bro. He's like, no problem, Weasel. Sure you stay safe. We're the only, like, it's just us now. It's like, I know, brother, I know. Make sure nothing happens to us. As Inko's little managing task was pretty much not managing, but she pretty much reached out to Deku and them to offer protection to her little branch of the company that she's for, and they offer pretty good security. Like I said, they're making a lot of money. Everything's going well. Until eventually, well, not until, but eventually, a few more Krogan show up. As a few of the Krogan from Deku, well, the group that was sent with Bell and them back to Elysium, they sort of went back and reported what happened. The Krogan chief, or the clan chief, decides that, yeah, if they're gonna go anywhere, they want them to be trained and disciplined. So he sends them over to Deku's stuff. As Bakugo is essentially put in front as the sort of representative for Clan Gadlock. So Bakugo not really giving a personal care for the clan, but he'll still like have their recruits and such represented by somebody. As eventually the Turians want their own representative, saying that the Krogan have theirs, why can't they have one for them? As they're like, what's the point? We all come to do job. As it's like, as Ida sort of represents the Turian group eventually, after having like to calm a few fights between Turians and Krogans, they're like, all right, know what? We're heading to the neutral ground, and you guys can settle it in the ring there. Yes, they built a fighting ring for when they can unwind. As Turians and Krogans go at each other, with a few humans and such going in there every now and then to deal with each other, their company is doing great. Onyx Industries is skyrocketing. The Onyx Sentinels are bringing in lots of money, and they're getting more recruits and better weaponry every day. And their mech robots have been upgraded quite a bit with the numerous upgrades that may add to their sort of code to ensure that they're always in top of the line shape. Eventually, after several months, they've skyrocketed to having close to 1,000 members. Well, close to half 1,000 members. That's not including the mechs that they have under their disposal. They have several companies under their protection, almost a dozen, and that's bringing them a bunch of money. Eventually, they realize that neutral ground won't be enough room for all of them. So, they talk with Bison and talk him into sort of buying a few more places. Close to 4 or so. Each one could hold around 100, maybe more, people at a time. And the Onyx Sentinels are doing great. Everything's hunky-dory for them. Melissa and her father have talked with Belle and them a bit, saying that they need some personal guards to go with them off-world to ensure their protections. And if I remember, Turians, yeah, they're Turians. As it's so we need protection. As it's can you explain? As listen, we're going off-world. We have left the company in capable hands. What we need is a personal bodyguard that would help us with things. It's go on and explain. Well, you see, we, it's been a bit, everything's calmed down, but we believe we should probably have more escorts. So we were thinking about 20 men, 20, 30 people. As it's I think we could do that. What do you say, Bakugo? As they as the leaders were called together to get the explanation. Well, damn these brain farts. The situation explained to them. As then they have it explained. Like I said, sorry. As they have the whole thing bit by bit. So we made some promises to an off-world military mercenary group that actually really wanted to look at our gear. They were wanting it's basic things like shield enhancers, biotic enhancers, stuff like that we've been working on. Even some heavy weaponry we've developed. They're really interested, but we need a lot of bodyguards. And we need a ship. As it's Wait. Why do you need a ship? It's like, we sort of said we had our own ship that we could arrive in. That's just like, we could possibly do something, yeah. As like, I think we should have more than enough people to hold a small ship, like to fly a small ship, but wait, we don't have any pilots, do we? As it's like, oh shit, we don't. Fuck. Who do we hire? Like, could we just like find somebody? No one knows how to fly a ship, do they? As it's like, nope. Well, this is gonna be a pain. As they all start talking, trying to brainstorm, do they know any pilots or... No, I don't think Bison knows any. Plus, I wouldn't want a pilot that goes to a bar frequently. So to that point, maybe... Wait a second. Does that count? As they're all running their ideas, Melissa and her father then state that they are actually looking over a few candidates that might be willing to become pilots, you know? Sorry. As they explain the whole thing to them. So, as you can see here, as it's like, so, wait, hang on. You're saying that this person right here, is a pilot. That they're a very good one? And it's like, yep. Right, we'll look them over. As then they start looking over their resume, and it's a pretty good one. And that's what I'm going to be ending it off on. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Hope y'all continue to enjoy this. I hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.